Well, how about we take a look at what's going on over in Afghanistan? We have this story. It's pretty interesting. Tucker Carlson questions if Biden admin botched Afghanistan withdrawal on purpose. And we got some more stories to potentially back up the claim that Joe Biden screwed up Afghanistan on purpose. Tucker Carlson pondered whether or not the administration deliberately botched the Afghan withdrawal during his show Thursday evening. Carlson's guest, Glenn Greenwald, was discussing how there are elements in the political establishment that would like us to remain in Afghanistan. The conversation led to the host questioning if there was a possibility there was an interest in screwing up to justify future engagement. Quote, I never want to be a conspiracy nut at all, but I mean, everything you said is true so far. So is it worth at least wondering? This is such an obvious screw up. You and I have no experience running a military or logistics withdrawal. I can't even organize my garage, but even you and I would probably do a better job of withdrawing than these guys. It was just like, it was comically bad. Is it possible they had an interest in making it bad to justify future engagement, or is that too much to even speculate about? Well, I give you the story from the Daily Mail. Glenn Beck claims U.S. State Department and Biden's White House are blocking his efforts to rescue Afghan Christians from the Taliban who want to set them on fire. Why would they tell someone with the capability of helping in the evacuation not to? Why would they block that? Unless they want the chaos so they can justify remaining.
Well, I think there's some legitimate reasons and some illegitimate reasons. I mean, the illegitimate reason, they don't want to be shown up. They don't. Our troops have not been allowed to leave the airport area to go rescue Americans elsewhere in Kabul, much less the rest of Afghanistan. But if you flip it around, if you're trying not to have a confrontation with the Taliban and trying to get everybody out, and you've got random elements out there who, let's just say, are more cowboy-esque and willing to fight if they've got to, well, then government's going to, then the Taliban's going to see that as engagement across the board, and then our troops are fighting. So I can see that, but what I can't see is when the State Department rejects, when you get people to the airport and the State Department says, sorry, you can't come in. Yeah. Our State Department is not requiring all the paperwork for everybody who gets there that they're getting out. So then it looks more like, hey, you showed us up, you made us look bad.
Let me make a better point. In the morning of the attacks, the U.S. and the U.K. warned their citizens to stay away. The Marines who lost their lives were also briefed that there was potentially going to be an attack. They were still told to process Afghan allies. Something doesn't add up here. Think about this in full context. You've got Marines at the gates checking IDs for Afghan allies to bring them in. The U.S. says someone is going to try to attack us. American citizens stay away, but we'll still board Afghan allies. So they tell the Americans, no, you can't come right now because there's a threat. These people are welcome to get on the plane, and many of them did.
They weren't worth as much.
But something doesn't make sense. This to me is well beyond a mistake.
For all I know, the U.S. government could have planted the freaking bombs and lied about it. We're in conspiracy world. What the heck's going on?
We're not in conspiracy world. We're talking about a fact that they issued a warning saying Americans stay away. They told the Americans not to come, and then told the Marines to keep processing the Afghan citizens. And then a bomb went off, killing Marines and Afghan citizens. And the reason why there weren't Americans there is because they were told not to be there.
But 13 Americans died.
U.S. Marines who are still down there checking IDs at the airport. Why weren't they pulled from the checkpoints?
Well,
why didn't they say, if we can't get Americans out, we ain't getting anybody out, and we're not going to risk the lives of our troops? No, they said, stay at your post. Someone's going to attack us. We won't let those Americans die, but you're cannon fodder. That's just what they did. It is. I can't imagine that it was an accident.
No, immediately after it happened, you get Biden come out and say, we're going to go after whoever did this at a time of our choosing, at a place of our, basically saying, just so you all know, this is a green light for us to reinvade or to reattack.
We're going to hunt
the next
them
day.
down.
And they're also talking about blowing up all the vehicles and aircraft that we left. So, you talk about, ongoing relations with the Taliban, but by the way, hey, those jets are flying over your country blowing up your stuff. They're ours.
Yeah.
We made it clear we're not getting everybody out. We know we're not getting everybody out. So then what happens the first time? Because the Taliban is not a top-down organization. It's not, it's not like the U.S. military where when the president gives an order, you expect a private somewhere 7,000 miles away to do exactly what the president ordered. So let's say the first time Taliban not just chops off the head of an American, but live casts it somewhere, spreads the video on the internet. What are we going to do about it? I mean, this is going to be an ongoing thing. How many hundreds or thousands of Americans and then also American allies and all are going to be left there? And, it's... So, I mean, whether you like it or not, it's certainly been botched. You're right. I mean, we could have gotten the D&D group from downstairs. We could have planned a better exit using miniatures. And
I just want to stress this point that needs to be said because it needs to be questioned there needs to be a hearing. This needs to be brought up. If they said there is an imminent attack and Americans should stay away, but then told the Marines to keep working to process non-citizens for transport, something doesn't make sense.